Base resonator here. I'm gonna be using this huge 30, let me get my ruler out real quick. I don't know, a 30 something centimeter clock mold from Beebecraft. Just a second. Well, forget going centimeters and millimeters and such, because I can only find my yardstick. Okay, so this is 12.5 inches across, and it holds 19.5, 20 ounces of resin. You see, each of these is going to be, there's going to be a space there, a gap, so when the finished piece is done, there will be holes there, and I'll be able to fill those with some other things. But what I am going to be doing is I have this beautiful hibiscus, and I'm going to put it under the screen, a picture of it that I took today. It's about 9 inches across, so the size of my hand from the tip of my thumb to the, so from there to there, that's how big it is. I'm going to try and recreate those colors in a bloom on this, in a 3D bloom on this clock face. Now what I'm going to be using, I'll show you this thing in just a bit. I'm going to be using the bloom paste from Pouring Your Heart Out, and then I received a resiner's kit as part of a prize that I won, or I was one of the winners, and a whole bunch of alcohol inks. And so I'm going to try and use red and bright red for the center, that center area. And then this rose red, now that doesn't look quite right, but I'm going to mix this in the bloom paste. So it's not going to be just a white, it's going to be a pinkish white, hopefully the same color as that hibiscus. That's my attempt. The other day I was at a store and I saw this is what it's called, an icing bulb. And I have a whole pack of those frosting, what are those things called? Goodness. Let me grab the box of them. Piping bags. But cutting them and getting the tip the right size and everything, I thought, nah, this is silicone. Silicone. Easy to clean out. You fill it up in here, put that lid on, and it's got a little lid here so that it won't go squirting out while I'm putting the lid on. And it's got two different nibs or tips. This one is the small and this one is the large. The large looks like about maybe 2 millimeters, and the small maybe 1. So I think I'm gonna pipe with 2 millimeters. I think that's what I'm gonna need to do, because these petals are gonna be huge, and I'm not gonna just do one out and let that suffice. No, I'm gonna do layers of them. Anyway, I gotta mix up a bunch of resin to get this ready to go. I'm excited about this. This is for Beebecraft. I did apply, and I was accepted into their try out our products, and this is one of the ones that they sent me. This is not just one of the ones. This set, I thought I was getting one. They sent 5 of these things that came in the package. Problem is, they were bent. They were doubled over to fit in the package better. I'm going to take you down just a second. I'm going to take the camera off the tripod. Kind of hard to see, but there is a crease right here where it got bent over in the package, and it has a couple other little marks. Now that's okay, because if I do a top coat on the finished product, no problem. But if I weren't doing a top coat, I'd have a hissy fit with it because it didn't come nice and smooth. It's a very let me get back up on the tripod. It's a very good size for a clock, you know, like in the kitchen. But this mold is super, the silicone is real thin and what I would call flimsy. It's not cheaply made, I don't think. It's just real easy to get damaged in the mail. So, and I think that's what happened to this. It took a while to get here from overseas, and then with the heat of Texas, that didn't help anything either. So, not blaming it on Beebecraft or anything, but the this I'm really wanting to try this out and get a really cool clock. What about the middle of the beautiful hibiscus? Well, that's where, when I get the clockworks, I'm going to decorate them. So I'm going to try and draw the little pistil and stamen, and if it doesn't look quite right, I can set the thing down on some silicone mat and draw the little fuzzies and stuff on there, make it look as close to the original as possible. So got to mix up some resin, and then we're gonna have some fun. Hopefully this whole thing turns out well. Again, this is me doing this for the a trial run of this mold for Beebecraft, to let you know what they have available. If you are interested in participating in demoing products for Beebecraft, I look in the description, and for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about by the description, if you look at the bottom of the video, here's my screen, bottom of the video down here, it says more. If you click that, it'll give a little bit of the description, and then it'll say more, and you click that, and that'll have the full description. In that full description, it'll have how to qualify with Beebecraft. You gotta have at least 100 subscribers on a YouTube channel, and then you submit your request, and then they'll let you know if you have been accepted or not. And so when I got accepted, I was like, yay, because I've wanted to have a really good size clock mold. I have some circles, and I can, but not this big, and I could make them thin and then put the clocks in them and stuff like that, but that's not the same as actually having a clock mold. So enough talking. This is exciting, and I get to use this for the first time. It's going to take a little bit. If it doesn't work out, you know what? I can scrap this video and do another one. So yeah, there's always that. So yep, Beebecraft demo number 1. I've already done the reveal when those things came in the mail, but this is my first reveal. I've got a couple other, no, my first demo, not the reveal. This is my first demo. I've got 3 other products that I'm going to do as well. So be looking out for those. Okay, I've mixed up the resin, and I'm getting my white ready over here, which is going to be pink. I got 2 ounces in here. So that means I need to have 6 drops. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Like that top off. I'm going to go ahead and pour this, because it's already starting to get pretty warm. I put it into the vacuum chamber. I can't really see what I'm doing here. Trying to work around the tripod. And then I got to look and see if there's any air bubbles hanging around the edges. This is a pretty good sized mold here. I don't want to fill it. Well, I don't know how much I have left in there. I do see a couple bubbles. It looked like it was sticking up to me for some reason. I'll just leave that, and then I'll pour that After I'm done, I'll pour that into a mold I have here. I don't want, there's not much left in there. Ah, where's my stick? Thought I had a, well, I'll use the other end of this one. It's got blue on one end. I don't want any blue to possibly come off. Getting kind of warm, this resin is. Let me, before I get going too far, try and get these bubbles. 1, 2, another one there, buckle my shoe, 3, 4, shut the door, 5, probably one over there, go around that. I can't see those, so if you see them in the camera, yell something at me. There must have been one there because I just knocked something up. I see one here. Yep, got you. And I see a couple around the edge. And I don't want to go too fast, because if I go too fast, I'll stir up more bubbles. And I may push something over the edge. Look at there, I stirred one up, and there's another one. I should just go where I see them instead of just going the whole way, because I'll end up doing more damage than good. Okay. Pop the bubble. Ah, that one's stuck on the bottom. Come up, come up. And this one too. I see you. Oh sure, then it goes ahead and pops when I'm not looking. Okay, now get this rose pink, and it's got some, it's settled, so let me see, I don't want to put too much in, so 3 drops, see how much that, what that does. I think I may need to go one more. It's getting a pretty pink. Maybe 2 more. Now this is an experiment, not just with this mold, but with this thing I'm going to use to pipe. Now I got the lid on it so that it won't go squirting out until I want it to. I want to make sure that lid is all the way on. Don't want to go start squirting and then have it come out flying at me. I think that's there. Okay, now bright red in the middle. It's spreading pretty good. Now I want to put a little darker red in the middle. And now to start piping this stuff without bumping too many things. Now I'm going to stay inside those hour lines, I believe. Big one. This makes it easy to pipe, that's for sure. For those people that used to laugh at me, your piping is terrible. Huh? Look at me now. Now I'm cooking with gas. Well, that wasn't ugly. Just I start. Should have talked, should I? You know what? Let me see what'll happen if I go on around. I think it's going to be a mess. Well, I'm just going to extend these babies. Hope this blooms. It's doing something, but I don't know what it's doing. Oh, to tell you, I'm using magic resin for this exercise. 1:1. I was hoping I would be able to mix a little bit of the white with some green to go around the outside like I'm doing right here, but for leaves that didn't work. I was running out of time. It was getting hot. I still feel like I got a bunch in here. But I'm thinking I need to work on these shapes a little bit so this doesn't blob too much. Do a little squirrely whirly. Bring those in a little bit tighter. Bloom. Don't want to do too much more to it and destroy the pattern. Maybe if I'm gonna try. I want those to cut that pink to just flow right all the way to the center. Cool thing is I don't have to wipe off the tip of that. It's blooming a sort, of a sort, not blooming a sort. Okay. Ooh, that would have been really bad if that would have blown into the... Okay, if you don't want to hear a loud noise, cover your ears now. Heat gun coming on. Get this out the way. see an air bubble. Couple that have come up around these. One right there. I'll work on those after I get this going. The lid is not tight. I better not mess around over there and drop it in. Okay, now, where did I see that bubble? One right here. One right there. Well, this is getting thick. This is thicker than honey. Bubble, get it up all the way. It's the next morning and that's cured up pretty well. It did not bloom as much as I wanted to, and I think that is because it was the resin had gotten too hot too quickly. So ideally what I could do is just do another bloom over the top of this, but I don't have enough room in this mold. So what I'm gonna do, I have down here from my set of Unicorn Art micas, I have set aside glitter teal, which is going to go all around the outside, not this part right here. Then this shortcake, which is the darker red, right here in the middle. I don't know if it'll be seen at all, but I want to put something down just in case. Then this a little bit darker orchid pink out a little ways, and then the rest of it with this blush all the way out to here. So I'm just gonna, I don't know how well it'll dust on there, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna start off with the shortcake in the middle. I've seen Daniel Cooper do this with some of the different things on a very small scale. Don't know how well this is going to work. And then leave this sitting here and pour a clear, I don't know if I want to go clear or if I want to use a white. And that's not sitting real well. I wonder. I wonder if I spray a little bit of alcohol. Oh, I make a big mess there. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, because as the resin cools or cures, it's going to pull towards the middle. Hopefully, it'll keep that mica in place. I don't know if this is going to work or not. In my mind, it did. What I should have done is not fill it quite as full so that I could come back with another layer. Now these pinks don't they match exactly. But I think it'll make a pretty color if it's even seen. Because right here it's kind of dense. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of dry bar comedy. It's comedy where they don't use curse words and stuff. And they stay very clean, very family friendly. Well, there was this one comedian named Dennis. I don't remember his last name. But he said he hated school. And the teacher came up and he answered some question in not a right way, and the teacher said, "Come on," and starts tapping him on the head. "What's the matter with you? Are you dense? Are you just dense?" And he goes, "Excuse me, it's pronounced Dennis." Oh man, that made me laugh. And then saying that makes me remember that I love to laugh, ha 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 ha, from Mary Poppins. And that little man, I don't know his name, the actor, that had the really funny laugh. That was my attempt at laughing like him. I love to laugh, ha. And I don't mind if I go a little heavy-handed on the mica out here, if it'll help fill in those gaps. I mean, this would probably be a really pretty bloom on the front anyway, because I can see some really cool textures going on. But I don't want to leave it and then have to go, oh man, I wish I would have done that. But this is all because I had put too much resin in the mold. Should have used a little less. Oh, I must tell you, that was the easiest piping I have ever done in my life. I didn't have to cut off the tip of the piping bag the way I wanted it, and this was super easy to clean up. Super easy, just peeled off like a dream. Oh, that mica went shooting all the way to the edge. That's okay. But I want to have some green to simulate foliage. I have an alarm going off in the other room. I don't know if any of you ever saw the cartoon, the original cartoon, Johnny Quest. And that's my alarm sound. I can hear it. Super cool jazz music. I mean, cartoons in the old days had much better music than they do today. If this works like I want it, all the little gaps on that 3D bloom are going to be filled in with some color. And it'll cover over the aspect of me not getting the piping early enough because the resin was already too warm, and it'll cover over that little error on my part. still hear that music. Jazz music. I really like jazz. But that cartoon, that was some of the best jazz there was. Not the best. I mean, there's all kinds of jazz artists that would probably go, nah, what about my music? What about my, but with a cartoon, goodness, to get music like that. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? You see where I'm hoping it'll go? Like filling that gap right there. Okay, use a different paintbrush to come back with the green on the outside. And I've just happened on this guitarist from Poland. He goes by Marcin. Man, that kid can play. And he's developed his own style. It's a unique style. And I like it. We'll see how this works. Man, that alarm goes a long time. Usually I just roll over and turn it off and then get out of bed, but it's still going. So I don't know how long it actually does go without shutting itself off automatically. It's starting again. But this Marcin, look him up. He's got millions of viewers on TikTok and not quite as many on YouTube, but he does have over 1.5 million on YouTube. But man, that guy. If I could get him to make friends with him and say, hey, can I use some of your music while my bloom is happening? That would be fun if I could get permission, get some rights to do that. But I know as a musician, you gotta watch out with copyright. You can't just use any music. You get in trouble. Now if you do your own music like I make my own stuff up. I don't know how much this green is gonna... If it adds a little bit of foliage color out here, I'll be satisfied. And after I finish this, boy, this brush is real soft. It's hard to get it to push down. I'm trying to push down a little bit into that resin, but it's cured up really well overnight, so there, that music stopped finally. But anyway, you ought to give it a listen. If you like guitar music, give it a listen to Marcin, M-A-R-C-I-N. Kid is phenomenal. Okay, now got to mix up some resin. Mixed up 3.5 ounces. Hope that is enough, but I don't want to mix up too much and have it just go spilling everywhere. I'll pour this down, and if I need to mix up some more, I'll do that. Yeah, looks like I'm gonna need to mix up some more. Probably another 2 ounces. Okay, I can do that. Got a little bit more resin mixed up. That's in the way. And there's some bubbles in here. I'll just go around with the long handled lighter. Set that thing down, get my arm around the tripod. Let's see if that'll get all the way to the edge or not. Should. And then it's just a matter of hurry up and wait. Okay, I gave that enough to where it can self-level itself and pour into the middle, and I can pour a little bit more into this egg, which has pink and now a little bit of clear. That'll be fun. Okay, I've done all I can do now, other than squirting a bunch of alcohol ink in there to fill in more color, but I don't want to do that. I want to just see if these colors will work themselves in. Okay, and I'm not going to show you a time lapse here because I don't expect much movement. But anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it. Yep. See ya for the unmolding. All cured up. Now, I want you to see something. I didn't put the bug cover over right there. That little gnat that was getting in my face landed on there. Crazy thing. Anyway, let's try and unmold this. Oh, okay, that's coming away really easy. That's good. I'm hoping for very pretty colors on the front side. Okay, it's loose all around the edge. Now to get these hour markings. Coming through easily. I've got an idea of what I would like to do with those hour markings. Hopefully you will like my idea. If not, well, you're not here to tell me otherwise. Yeah. Okay, so that is all loose all the way around. Now we got to get to that middle where the clockworks will go. And here's the deal. My clockworks are not going to be until for a couple days, so I may have to postpone the end of this project, or the part that mold came out nice. Let's take a look. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it's not a bad attempt. It's very pretty. I do have green around the edge. I'm wondering if I should look at it with the dark background. Causes that color to come up, whereas leaving it clear, you see more of the... I'm thinking I like that dark background. Okay, that makes my next job of what I want to do easy, because I will just need to cover that with a plug, but I need to put... I'm wondering if that little crease, yeah, it did come out, that was in the mold. But I'm going to do a top coat on it anyway, so that's okay. But I'm going to put some resin tape to cover each one of those. I'm not going to go black. I think I'm going to go like a dark brown to simulate the branches of the bush itself. Okay. So let me get my tape. Anyway, this mold, other than having that little crease in it, and that happened during shipping, it's not the mold's fault at all. This is a very nice size clock mold, and it does have a little recessed area here so that the clockworks can fit into there without losing any of their integrity and not looking odd. If you put together clocks, you know what I'm talking about. That little ring that goes there and ends up sticking out. Yeah, not pretty. So it'll go down into it'll set down into the edge because there's that little gap. I mean that little space that this mold caused. So that's really good. I like that. So my impressions of this mold, it is very lightweight and flimsy, and it did leave a little mark from shipping, but other than that, look, I got a nice clock out of this. Okay, so, and I am going to put a top coat on, so there's not a big deal there. Okay, let me get my tape. Actually, let me try and zoom out. I am out. Okay, let me go up higher. I don't know how I had that better yesterday. Oh, now I got too much. There we go. So I'll put this side over to the side. Ignore all these other things. I wish I had this filtering thing to get rid of that, but I don't. So deal with it. Okay, got my tape out. This is usually used for doing UV resin projects, but I think it'll work perfectly for this because it'll keep that resin from coming through. And it should be able to peel off of there without too much of a hassle. And so then my hour markings, well, that was smart. My hour markings will be brown. and be highly visible. Can't have any gaps like that, Mr. Watkins. You don't want any of that resin sneaking through without my permission. So this clock is going to get a back. You know why it's doing that? I'm pushing down in the middle when I'm putting it on. No more of that. Next one will not be done that way. Push down on the side. This side. Still got a little bit of one. Easily taken care of. And if any resin should happen to sneak its way through, I can sand a little bit before I put my top coat on. Hey, why didn't I do that on all of them? Well, that's why, because I still ended up with just a little. Well, that was not nearly as bad. I will sand a little bit on the back. Hey, that's the ticket right there. I will sand a little bit on the back so that back coating that I'm going to put on will stay nice. I pushed down in the middle again when I did that. But this way, those numbers will be just like you're seeing this dark through there. You'll be able to see that brown, dark brown coming through that I have planned. Trying to get it real nice and neat. And then when I take those off and then I put a clear coat over the front, there'll be a clear over that brown as well, and they'll be nice and pretty. But I think I got pretty close to the did it again. I got pretty close to the color that I was wanting for this, to stay close to that hibiscus color. Okay, just two more so I won't be too frustrated. Boom. Going faster didn't help. I still got that little bubble right there. So if they're not level on this front side when I take that tape off, it's okay. And somewhere in the midst, that gnat that got stuck in the ointment or in the resin will not have to be seen ever again. You and I will know he's there, but anybody who ends up getting this clock will not. So I'm gonna take this outside and sand it. I don't want to sand in here. I'm not gonna do a really vigorous sanding or anything, but I am gonna sand a little bit. So, yep. I'll be back shortly. I took it out and used 240 grit sandpaper, and now I'm just spraying it with a little bit of alcohol, and that got most of that bug gone. Now, I was sort of wanting to do a back coat as well, because where it was in that mold, there are a couple spots where it's raised around the edge, so I won't put a very deep coat at all, but I will be able to get that down. Okay, mixing up some resin and then deciding on what color brown to use. I'll grab it shortly. Okay, I'm back. I decided not to go with a straight brown. I have some old micas, and you can still see them listed in catalogs, but you will not be able to buy them because they're always out of, they're not being made anymore. It's from Prime Crafting, and I mixed, this is black and this is amaranth. Amaranth is like a really dark burgundy red. So I mixed 2 parts amaranth, 1 part black, actually a 1/4 part black, so just a little bit of black. Wait till you see the color when I pour it out. Oh, this little dude, hole makers for resin. I found out about these from Daniel Cooper. Thank you, Daniel. I'm only going to do a thin coat of this, except for the hour markers. But I decided not to go with just brown. I wanted to stay sort of in the color scheme, and this is sort of a pinkish, reddish in the family, right? So I mixed this up for, actually I put those colors in right at the beginning of my mixing, and I mixed for about 5-6 minutes, somewhere around there. So it's mixed up. Hopefully I won't have any little floaties. I want to get those hour things first. So it's not a brown, but it's definitely going to be seen on the other side because of how much of a difference in color it is than the pink from the flower bloom itself. But I put that little hole maker to keep, I don't want the resin to get in there because I need that free and clear. I mixed up 3.4 ounces of resin. Hopefully that will be enough. Look at that. It almost looks brown, huh? This is a still magic resin, but this is their what is that? That was stuck on this tool. Huh? Don't know what it is. A little spoon folded in half or something. But it's the tabletop resin, so it's made for going thin. So I'm going to spread this out a little bit. Using the silicone wide brush. And this is supposed to level at 1/8 of an inch, so, or self-level. So if I can take it all the way to the edge, and I have my anti-bug thing setting ready to put over the top of this, because I do not want any more surprise bug visits. Come on now. Pick up. There we go. Go all the way to the edge. And you can pull back to the middle, I don't care. Don't want to go over the edge, but I want to get it to the edge. Somebody's sending me a message. Okay, now this over here. Get that wiped off the tool. And then whatever this little, I guess it's a measuring spoon. Go over there. And all that resin is gone. Now I'm going to use the I say that and then I gotta go right here. I'm going to use the heat gun to blow this stuff and get rid of bubbles, as well as help it start leveling on its own. This is not warm in any case, so I should have a little bit more working time than I had with the bloom itself. If you have sensitive ears, close them now. I think that's where that little bug was. I was trying to blow it out. Yep. Okay. Well, now we just let it cure. All cured up. There are, I don't know what caused this. There's like a drop of something fell on there and the resin pulled away from it, left like a, you can't see it very well right now, but there's a dimple in the resin. And up here, I don't know if one of those bugs came and landed and did something here and then flew over here, because I had the net over the top. But anyway, take that out. That did its job very nicely, kept the resin out. Yeah, that's really on the pretty side now. I don't know what I set that in when it was curing, but I'm going to do a top coat on this anyway, which is going to be fun, how to do the top coat with, because this fits fine, but remember it's got that little lip there. And it's not quite big enough on that end. I have to figure something out before I do a top coat, but let me get these things off. This tape. But doesn't that look really neat? Those hour marks. Oh, remember I said there might be a little bit of leak. This is why I'm going to have to sand this down a little bit, but that's fine. That resin tried to squeeze out the little air pocket that I had left. Mr. Tim, you let it get away with stuff. But I really like the effect of that dark. You can see the green now around the edges. They don't really look like leaves, but it gives a hint of some greenery, foliage, and the pink that I put back there. Yeah, I'm going to sand this a little bit anyway. The pink back there shows up better. If I were to do this again, I think I would do more loops with that blooming material, and not go out here. Maybe put green out there on between nails and then just leave the very outside clear. But you know, for me trying something new, I think this is really pretty. I really like this center. I think I get the edge of it. There, I got it. And then it slips away from me. Oh, look at there. Left hand got it right off. I just bumped that with my head. The tripod and the camera angle moved, I think. Put it back. Well, for this mold being having that little mark on it, this yielded a really pretty result. Even though the bloom isn't, like I said, if I were to do it again, I'd put more texture in there. But I wanted it to be, see there, it tried to sneak in that little gap right there in the under the tape. I wanted it to be, the original flower is so huge, but it's so dainty, so tender, so frail. I wanted to try and get that in this bloom. Do not get me wrong, I love this bloom. I was hoping to get something different, so if I'm not showing you enough, ooh, ah, oh my, it's just because I was wanting something slightly different. But I think this came out really pretty. And when I do this top coat, it's going to be even prettier. But I'm going to show you a little secret that I have. And I know Beebecraft sells some of these. I did not get these in my order. Okay, so that's where I started there. So I'm going to sand this down a bit. I got to figure out some type of little silicone thing to fit right. This can fit down the middle, but I got to fit something else around that edge so I don't lose that cool. Come on, lift it up. Oh, it has static on it. I don't want to lose. I'm trying to get it to where you can see the shape that I'm talking about. Right here, get up closer, there is a little ring around the hole, and I want to make sure I keep that so that when I put the clockworks in, that it works and keeps that, because I think that's going to make the clockworks fit even better. Now let me show you what I'm going to add in here. And I know Beebecraft sells these because I started looking on the web after I got the shipment. I thought, oh, I should have done this too. Well, let me show you. I have a packet. Don't have enough for each one of the hour markings, but they're little bees. They have, I don't know what that white is, but it almost has an opal effect. But I want to go, if nothing else, put one on the 3, the 6. Yeah, I don't have enough for all of them. The 9, and then maybe 2 up here on the 12. Yeah, do 2 up here on the 12, and I will put these and let them cure in the resin. So now you can, instead of having numbers on there, you have the ticks for the hour marks, but you know the orientation. You got 3, 6, 9, and 12. So that's what I'm planning. I don't know where I got these. Doesn't have a brand name or anything, just has the shipping barcode. Got 3 more to go, so I may look on Beebecraft and find some more. They're little charms, but they don't have a little hoop to hang them on a bracelet or necklace or anything of that sort. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. And then the clockworks are supposed to be getting in tomorrow, so that's what I'm waiting on with this. I'm going to sand it, put the flood coat, make sure that's covered, make sure these little guys are in place, put the clockworks in there, making sure they get over the top. That's why I'm using these. I've got some other bees that I have enough for each of them hours, but they're tall, and they would get in the way, I think, of the clockworks themselves. So yeah, let's zoom in. So you can see those little bees. Ooh, how cute. Oh, why won't it focus on it? That was weird. It doesn't want to focus that close. No, can't get it to focus that close. I guess I will do it when I get the... Anyway, at this way you can see those. Look at that 3D bloom. It's really, 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 really pretty. And I love the color I chose. Instead of going with brown, that dark color for the hour ticks. Look at this center. Oh, goes out of focus when I want to zoom in even more. Isn't that pretty? Tried to keep the effect of the original hibiscus. I'll put a picture of it at the end of this video and put it side to side. Hibiscus on one side or the other, and then this in between. So yeah, I'm really appreciating this. The mold, yeah, I had a little bit of a crease, but not bad, especially since I'm going to put a top coat on here. But it's a very good size mold. 33.4 centimeters. It's 10 millimeters or 1 centimeter thick, and if I'm doing the top coats, it's going to be slightly thicker than that. Yeah, I think it's a very good size, and you get five 5, not just one mold. So if something happens on one, you know, all of the molds had that little crease, so I just chose one. Yeah, I'm going to sand that down. That's bugging me. They all had that same thing, so I couldn't choose one of the that had that little crease right here. I had the other day. I had it oriented differently, but on molding and turning it over and stuff, I ended up doing something different. But you can compensate over that by doing a flood coat. So I'm totally satisfied with this mold, and I really like this design of having ticks. I don't like numbers because sometimes you get numbers that look kind of weird, or some people don't understand Roman numerals. They want Arabic numerals. Some don't want numbers at all. This way I'm doing the ticks, and I still have 3, 6, 9, and 12. Boom. Okay. When I get this done, I will take some stills. So this is the last part of the video that I'm going to do here. I'll take some stills and show some up close close-ups. Man, I'm having a hard time speaking. Get some close-ups of this, get it in better light out of this room, be able to zoom in with a different camera and get some really good stills on this. I think you'll be surprised. And Beebecraft, thank you so much for letting me be a part of your team working with this. A lot of fun. Okay, subscribers, thank you. If you're a follower and not a subscriber, consider subscribing. It's free. You can just join the club, have fun watching what I'm doing every once in a while. Yeah, I've got another 2 Beebecraft videos to do. I say that because this was my first Beebecraft video, but it's taken me longer waiting for the clockworks, so it's Beebecraft 1 under 2. The second one video, which is actually the first video that came out, is 2 over 1. Beebecraft 2 over 1. I'm giving them weird names. Beebecraft 2 over 1. This is Beebecraft 1 under 2, and then we will consider go on with the others without any problems. But yeah, just waiting on clockworks and sanding this down and putting a flood coat. Really like this mold. I really like this size. It's bigger than my hand, which is what was important. Cool. Thank you.